How much of your energy is spent fighting reality? We resist setbacks, curse our luck, and try to force the world to fit our plans. This constant battle is exhausting. It leaves us feeling powerless and frustrated. But what if true strength isn't found in control, but in acceptance? What if peace comes from letting go? The Stoics discovered a profound power in surrendering to the flow of life. Today, we'll explore their radical idea of accepting what is, trusting a power greater than ourselves, and finding a freedom that no one can take away. Follow the doctor's orders. Just as they say that Asclepius prescribed for someone horse riding, cold baths, or walking barefoot, so we can say, the nature of the whole has prescribed for someone illness, disability, loss, or something similar. For there, to prescribe means something like this: he prescribed this for so-and-so in accordance with his health, and here, the way circumstances unfold for someone is, as it were, prescribed for them in accordance with their fate. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. The Stoics were masters of analogies. They used them to strengthen their reasoning. Marcus Aurelius notes how much more willingly we agree to something unpleasant if we hear, "These are the doctor's orders." The doctor says you need to drink a nasty medicine, and you take it. The doctor says you need to sleep upside down like a bat. You feel foolish, but you start doing it because you believe it will make you better. When it comes to external events, we rush into battle as soon as something starts to contradict our plans. But what if, asks Marcus Aurelius, a doctor prescribed exactly this, assigning it as part of a treatment? What if this is just as much a good for us as the medicine itself? What if neither good nor bad? There is no harm to that which is undergoing transformation, just as there is no good to that which is born from transformation. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations. This idea of accepting life's events as a prescription requires a fundamental shift in our thinking. It starts by stripping away the labels we attach to everything that happens. When people claim that change is good, or repeat, "Whatever happens, happens for the best," they are usually trying to soothe or persuade others or themselves. Because instinctively, we consider change to be evil, or at least treat it with suspicion. The Stoics want you to do away with all such labels. Change is not good. The status quo is not evil. They simply exist. Remember that events are objective. It is solely our opinion that determines whether something is good or bad, and therefore whether we should fight for or against it. What is the better position? The solution is to make the most of everything. But first, you must stop fighting. A higher power. This is virtue and an evenly flowing life of a happy man, in which everything is done in accordance with the divinity of each and serves the will of the universal administrator. Diogenes Laertius. Once we stop judging events as good or bad, we can take another, even more liberating step, admitting that we weren't the ones causing them anyway. This involves recognizing a power greater than ourselves. In that 12-step program, for many addicts, the most difficult step is step 2, acknowledging a higher power. At first, people declare that they are atheists, or that they don't like religion, or don't understand why it's important. But then they realize and admit, it is their addiction speaking. It is just another form of egoism and self-centeredness. The real meaning of this step is not so hard to grasp. We came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Subsequent steps invite the addict to submit and be freed. The second step actually has less to do with a deity than others. Its essence is to tune into the universe and get rid of the toxic thought that we are at the center of the world. It's no wonder that the Stoics are popular among people participating in the 12-step program. It is also clear that this wisdom is useful for everyone. You don't need to believe that some God directs the universe. You just need to stop believing that you are that director. Once you can align your spirit with this idea, life will become simpler and happier, because you will be free from the most powerful addiction of all, the addiction to control. Someone else spins the thread. The rising day saw you arrogant. The setting day saw you prostrate. Mortal, never trust in happiness. Mortal, do not lose hope in adversity. Mixing them, Clotho does not let fortune stand still, and fate rolls on. The gods have shown no such mercy, that a mortal could be sure of the coming day. All our affairs in a constant whirlwind. The gods rotate. Seneca, Diestis. This release from the burden of control was understood by the ancients not just philosophically, but mythologically. They knew that the thread of our life is spun by another's hand. In the motel room where the novelist Cormac McCarthy was staying, there was an unexpected knock. The writer was informed that he had received a MacArthur Fellowship, also known as a Genius Grant, worth $250,000. But surprises can be both pleasant and bad. Who could have dreamed of such an unexpected turn? Who, other than Clotho, the youngest of the three Moirai sisters, the goddesses of fate in Greek mythology, who spins the thread of human life? For the ancients, she was the one who made decisions about the events in our lives, sometimes good, sometimes bad. As the playwright Aeschylus wrote, if the gods send a trial, no one can escape it. The same is true for fate and luck. Such a humble position may seem strange today, but the ancients understood who really runs things, not them, not us. No prosperity, no hardship is guaranteed or eternal. Triumph becomes a trial becomes a triumph. In a single moment, life can change. Remember today how often this happens. How to be strong. Relying on what? Not on fame, not on wealth, not on power, but on your own strength, that is, on your opinions about what is within our control and what is not. For only these make people free, unhindered, raise the heads of the humiliated, allow them to look directly into the faces of the rich, into the faces of tyrants. Epictetus, Discourses. So, if we accept what happens, release our need for control, and acknowledge the power of fate, does that make us weak? The Stoics would say the exact opposite. It is the very source of our greatest strength. In a scene from Stephen Pressfield's novel The Virtues of War, Alexander the Great encounters a group of philosophers who refuse to yield the road to him. One of the king's men shouts at the eldest sage, "This man has conquered the world. What have you done that is so great?" The philosopher immediately replies, "I have conquered the need to conquer the world." We know that Alexander encountered Diogenes of Sinope, a philosopher known for his rejection of what society values and, consequently, his rejection of Alexander's self-importance. Just as in the fictional encounter described in Pressfield's novel, in the real meeting between Diogenes and Alexander, the philosopher proved to be stronger than the most powerful man in the world, because, unlike him, Diogenes had fewer desires. They could look each other in the eye and see who truly controlled themselves, who had achieved the self-mastery necessary for real, lasting power. You too can achieve this. This means focusing on gaining internal, not external, strength. Publilius Cyrus, himself a former slave, remarked, "Would you have a great empire? Rule over yourself." Conclusion: true strength is not found in bending the world to your will, but in mastering your own. It's the quiet power of acceptance, the humility to let go of control, and the wisdom to focus only on what is yours, your character. This is the path to unshakable freedom. If this journey resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel to continue exploring this timeless wisdom. I also want to give a heartfelt thank you to our partners, whose support makes these videos possible. By exploring their offerings, you also help support our mission. Let's walk this path together.